Guys, well, guess what? I'm finally done. The kiln, well, maybe 99.9% done. I'll show you what I'm talking about. But let me whip it around here. See it in the background. There she is. And come on, turn around there. I'll show you the inside. Okay guys, here we go. And obviously, main door. And this is why I say 99.9% done. I got just a few little fussy things to do here. And up there I got covered that up. But none of this is going to prevent me from firing up the kiln, which is what I want to do. So you can see the two doors here, one for each side. This is the side that the fans blow to, and this over here is the side that the kiln unit itself is on. And I got a few things in here that I got to put away after I'm 100% done. But that's where the controller is, right there. Then I got all my wiring and everything going right through the wall. And I'll open this door via my homemade latch. And you can see how thick I got these doors. They are 6 inches thick. And I'm going to be able to see very well in here. But, oh, that's dusty. I will go around, open the other side, and show you guys the inside of this thing. So let's head on around there. And, oh yeah, while we're in here, I'm going to tell you a little bit about why this looks the way it does inside here. What this wall is right here is, this is all pallet wood. Pallet wood that I milled myself, 3.5 inches wide, 1/2 inch thick. And that turns out to be one of my biggest selling products that I have. So this right here is just average ordinary oak. That up there, I started about halfway through deciding, you know, I'm going to, instead of mill this stuff 3.5 inches wide, I'm going to mill it 4 inches wide. So this wall over here is just average ordinary oak. This wall right here is as rustic oak as I could find through my stack. Just about every single one of those boards has a knot in it somewhere. Then you come over here to the entry wall, and this is all spalted in the ambrosia maple. And there's the breaker box, which is a 100 amps I have coming into here. And show you down below there this wall, which it looks absolutely gorgeous. Now, yes, you'll see spaces and gaps in there, and that's because none of this wood was dry when I hung it. I just wanted to do that intentionally so that when I have a customer coming over here to look at wood and they want to buy some pallet wood, I can show them something of what my stuff looks like, you know, after, for one, you know, if it's not kiln dried, you know, what it looks like. But this whole wall right here is all mostly quarter and rift sawn oak, and all red oak. And I've had people come in here, this has already sold a few projects, you know, just to some friends. But, you know, yeah, up there I got a few more boards, but none of that is preventing me from firing up this kiln. So this up here is my vent that vents in for the excess humidity. And I decided I was going to put it in this side because this room is actually going to get heated a little bit from inside the kiln there. So I thought, well, if I'm going to have air going into the kiln, if it's 20 degrees outside and it's 60 degrees on this side, I'd rather it suck in 60 degree air than 20 degree air. So that's my line of thinking with that, and I did buy a second vent, and that second vent is going to be put down there, down low, and that will be input for whenever that thing decides it wants to draw some air and to vent out the excess humidity. So let's go around to the other end where the double doors are. There's the double doors, and there's the other vent, the exhaust vent. And this handle latch system works fantastic. Had to do a little bit of tweaking with it, but for the most part this thing is just great. So if you remember the other videos talking about this kiln, there will be a cart. That is what these little channels are right here. I got one on each side, and after I got to thinking about it, this system is going to be pretty wide, so I'm going to run a third channel with a third set of wheels and stuff going right down the middle, because I just don't like the idea of loading 20,000 pounds of oak on there. And you can see this, the span that you would have between the two rails, and I just don't think it would be a good idea. So for my first load or two in here, I'm not going to build a cart. For the first load or two, I'm going to just get this thing up and running, and once this thing starts paying some bills, that's when I will build the cart with the money that I start to earn from this thing. And there's the kiln unit itself. And the baffles are the only thing that I have yet to install. So I was thinking about doing that earlier, and then I was like, yeah, it's actually over 7 feet to the bottom of that. Actually, I think it's 7.5 feet. So got to thinking about it. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to load the wood in here. Then I'll just stand up on the stack, and then that'll be a whole lot easier to install those plywood baffles up there. And so you see the fans, I got 5 of them total. That's because of the length of this kiln. The inside to inside is 19.5 feet long and 11.5 feet wide. Now, for the most part, I will not need anything that wide as far as stacking lumber in here. If I'm doing oak, to get 4,000 board feet of oak in here, 19 feet long, my stack will be 5 feet wide, and I don't remember how many rows high that is, but each row is 95 board feet. So with that being 95 board feet, I'm thinking it was like 45 rows, but it's like 5.5 feet high, somewhere around there. And so with that being 5.5 or 5 feet wide, and that distance high, what I needed to happen was to have from this wall to the edge of the stack, to be 36 inches. And I have that span perfect in here. So one of the reasons why I wanted something so big was because if you do much in the way of live edge lumber, you'll know that you will have very irregularly shaped logs, slabs, and that whole shebang. So what I wanted was the space to be able to put as many board feet of those live edge slabs in here as I could get, and still be within the limits of the kiln. And so those are part of the boards that are going to be going up there. And you can see my moisture probes, the cords that plug into that. Over here is the wet bulb and the dry bulb, and I'm going to have a temperature probe in here that broadcasts the temperature into the house, so I can just do a little bit of monitoring remotely from the house to know what's going on in here. And yeah, down here is my hose for the water that drains out. And there you have it. That's all a bunch of logs and lumber and slabs and everything else down there. Bunch of mess that I got to get cleaned up because of trying to get this thing up and running, but there you have it. She is, for all intents and purposes, done. Oh, wait, before I go away, I want to show you how I have these fans wired. And what I have them wired with, I believe it's called THHN wire. And I just ran everything through metal conduit. And that's the only thing that will hold up to the temperatures in here. You don't want to have Romex. It will not hold up to the temperatures inside the kiln. And Nyle will even tell you if you run Romex in here, it will cause a fire. So that's what I got going on here. And yeah, the exhaust fan up here, they tell you to keep the intake and the exhaust fan up around the height of the fans. So that's why they are where they are. So I can keep them up nice and high. And they are at opposite ends of one another. The intake is right down there. And there you have it. Tomorrow, what I will do is I will load this up, get the plywood installed up to the top there, and any other little nitpicky things that I need to do. And I will be back for that one and show you guys the initial firing up of this thing and let you listen to how loud this is. I've had the fans and the kiln unit running, closed all the doors, and I'm telling you what, it is insanely loud in here. You go outside and you can barely hear a hum. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to use the rock wool for the insulation in here. So it has, on the wall ceiling, it has 3.5 inches of rock wool and 2-inch thick of foam. And there you have it. See you on the next one.